This is very exciting. I would be honest, if I knew that I was going to have an author of a book called Ginger Nuts on, I don't know if it would have been you.
Why not?
I don't know. Ginger Nuts does not strike me as the name of a book you'd write. How did you come to write a book called Ginger Nuts?
Well, I didn't actually write it. My friend Michael Roberts wrote it and conceived it, actually.
So why is it
literally.
he here?
Because you wouldn't have us on last week.
That's true. There you go.
You know.
But how did this come about, this book?
Well, it's a kind of silly story. I was 75
Yeah.
a while back, and they were trying to throw me a surprise birthday party.
Do you like
Okay.
surprises?
I love surprises.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I do, fortunately. Well, you know, I always know something's hatching when it's my birthday time. Anyway, they decided they'd like a nice invitation to send to everybody, which I knew nothing about. And so they asked Michael, who's an illustrator. Well, he's everything, but anyway, he's an illustrator. And they asked him to do an invitation for the party.
And this is the invitation he drew for your 75th. And that is, there you go. It's wonderful.
I think it's wonderful, but apparently everybody thought I would be incredibly offended.
Okay. Because
mean-
it's an orangutan with very similar
but
hair
no-
to yours. Yeah.
Anyway, and I knew nothing about this, and the whole invitation died, and I think they just emailed everybody or something, I don't know. Anyway, about 3 months later, Michael suddenly sent me this picture, emailed. And actually, I'd never look at email, but I did happen to see this. And I said, you know, what the hell is this? And I said, you know, it kind of looks like me. And he told me the whole story.
Okay. And you were not offended?
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I loved it. No, and I said, she's got to go somewhere, this girl. you
Yeah.
know? So together we sort of hatched up a sort of.
And that's
A
how we ended up
storyline.
with the Ginger Nuts ended up with a very similar story to you in a very similar memoir.
Well, actually, it was easy because Michael Roberts actually wrote my memoir kind of with me for me.
That's fantastic.
So he knew the story.
He knew how to take that story and put it on
and
an
do a
orangutan.
sort of- yeah, and sort of parallel it with.
That's fantastic.
Because the whole story is completely my story.
I first came to know you, and I know a lot of people in the fashion world have known you forever, but the September issue, which is an excellent documentary about Vogue and the inner workings of Vogue. And, you know, not only do we see sort of Anna Wintour at work, but I got to be introduced to you. Was that a film that you found a lot of people then became aware of who you were?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think anybody knew who I was. I mean, a few people in the fashion business knew me a little bit. But, you know, certainly nobody in the street or.
And
I was
now,
never
do people
recognized
in
or
the
anything.
streets approach you still from the September issue?
Still, yes.
Yeah.
You know, people are still seeing it. It's really incredible. You
Well,
know, they see it on planes or something, I don't know.
I remember watching it, and for me, it felt very similar to SNL in that it's the stress that goes into putting together, especially the September issue. And I felt a real connection with you because I felt like Lorne Michaels is a lot like Anna Wintour, and your role, I felt like was very similar to a head writer at SNL because they sort of are very good at giving bad news and then having you go tell it to people. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, those pictures are killed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then it felt like you had the right personality to do that, to give people bad news. Is that fair?
What gives you that?
Well, no, I just mean you're very sweet, so I feel like you give it to them in a
I'm
way
not
that's
so
easier.
sweet.
You're not, really.
I'm really horrible.
Oh, you know what? I've mistaken you with Ginger Nuts,
Yes.
the very kind orangutan who gives you bad news.